few days have gone by, of course, Dave, since you last played, and you've been working with your players. Just on reflection of that game against Gillingham, has it knocked you back a little bit, that result?
I think every negative result knocks you back. There's ways to lose and there's ways not to win, if you like. You know, we can't be too analytical. We've got to win games of football, however way. But what you did see was a team that were trying to play the right way and trying to do the right things. You know, we had a lot of new players in the team and it didn't quite work. But the seeds, I felt, were already there. So we've got to make sure that carries on.
When players get defeats against sides that you're fighting against, whether you be at the top of the table or at the bottom of the table, when you suffer those defeats against those clubs close to you, does it knock the spirits? Is that something that you've got to be ready to, you know, get into them and get them ready for the next game?
Like I said, I think you could lose to top of the table 1-0 in the last kick, and that might be more damaging to spirit than if you lose to the bottom of the league 2-0 kind of thing. It's the manner of the defeat and how it comes more than anything else that you've got to be mindful of, I think, as opposed to and opposition plays a part of it. But I think for me, it's you've got to make sure that the spirit remains high at all times, regardless, win or lose. I don't think we've suffered with that all season, to be honest. We've just got to make sure that we do come out on the right side of the line in those games where we feel as though we've dominated for large periods.
Weather permitting, that everything goes well with the weather, you're going to be now on that run of games that are going to hopefully take you towards the end of the season. I think you've got 4 games coming up in an 11 to 12 days period. Is it a real crunch time, make or break time that you've got to get those wins together?
I wouldn't say it's make or break. You know, you don't have to look at Newport a few years ago. I think they needed to win 8 out of 10, and they did, to stay in League Two. Now, you don't want to leave it to that stage. Of course you don't. So I think on the flip side of the coin, that every game's make or break in that sense. So it depends how you want to look at each game, if you like. If you want to lump all in and sort of put all the pressure on one game, then you know you've got to make sure that the spirit might be crushed if you don't come out on the right side of the line. So you've got to be extremely careful how you dress up each game. Every player, every professional player knows every game's a big game. You know, that doesn't need to be said too often anyway. A reminder maybe. So you've got to make sure that you're not building it up to be something that isn't. Either way, either end of the spectrum. If you're dismissing it, well, it's you know, it's only X, you'll be all right. Likewise, if you say that we must win this game, there can be dire consequences off the back of them. So you've got to make them see the bigger picture, but also what's right in front of them on any given match day, and that's the art, that's the balance.
Well, fortunately at the moment you're finding goals hard to come by. I think this is like the second time through the season you've had a sort of real barren spell, but you've touched on it. You've had a few new players coming in. Have you worked on that real attacking policy, that how you want to integrate the new players with your existing players, getting goals?
Yeah, look, we've worked on all aspects of the game because they're the new players, not just the attacking play. We've got to make sure that they'll be able to defend as well. So yeah, it's not a case of just focusing on one thing because you can take your eye off the ball. We've got to you know, make sure we do score more goals, and that's evident. But we've also, there's no point scoring 3 but conceding 4. So it's that balance of trying to get the right amount of work into them at the right time, but not tip the balance so they forget anything.
Mick Manson posted on his social media that he's likely to be out for a few weeks. Can you bring us up to date with that and your other lads?
Well, he's going to see the specialist today, so he's bloody good.
He must be a good doctor. But, so you wait for a report on that, or whatever.
Yeah, he's got an appointment at 1 o'clock today.
What about the others? How's that, Williams, first of all? That's more important. How's that progressing with the illness?
We'll know more on Wednesday. He's due to see the specialist on Wednesday, and we'll know more then.
It's been a hard time, hasn't it? Something completely out of the blue that's hit you.
It doesn't surprise me anymore.
Just looking at that next game that's coming up, Plymouth, what a great effort they put in at the weekend. They've had a consistent season as well. Yes, they've changed manager, but the man in charge, you'll know all about, Stephen Schumacher, has kept it going, and they're one of the consistent teams in League One this season.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're a tough nut to crack. Chelsea found that at the weekend. Champions of Europe found that. So, under no illusions how difficult the game will be. But you hope that they aren't as up for it as they might have been at the weekend, and we raise our levels to surpass theirs. And if we do that, then we've got a chance, because as we saw with Doncaster and Sunderland, anyone can beat anyone in this league. It's tough. We all know it's a tough league, and we've got to make sure that we do that tomorrow night.
You had a productive January in terms of incomings. Has that been beneficial for you? I know you'd love to play games every day, really, but you've had a complete sort of week before you last played, and is that going to help you? Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, training always helps, because it's relationship building, it's understanding each other. But eventually you've got to actually go and do the business, and that's what we've got to do.